Hey everybody, Pastor Justin here. I hope you are all doing well. I shared in my weekly update email that we are really excited to be planning to reopen the church doors on May 24th. That's the first official day that we're allowed to do that, and so we're making plans to make that happen, to meet with you here in person on May 24th. I really can't wait. It's been a long time since I've seen and had in-person conversations with a lot of you, and so I am just beyond excited to be making that happen here in this building as a church, gathering together and worshiping with one another. I am really excited for that. That being said, things are going to look a little bit different for us. We have traditionally been a very touchy-feely church, hugs all around, handshakes, whatever you want to say, and a lot of that is not going to be the same for right now as we move forward. So before we even get into the details of what we're planning to do as a church, I just want to take a second to say, I know, because I've talked to a lot of you on this, I know that there are some very strong opinions about this whole issue, about the virus, about the nature of the virus, about the effects of the virus, about the political structure surrounding all of it. I know there's some very strong opinions out there. And I also know that there are those very strong opinions often come into contact, come head to head with one another. Because I can just tell you, as the pastor of this church, we have people across the spectrum, politically, socially, everything. We have people across the spectrum, way far ends, extremes on both sides. And so the reality is those opinions are going to come up, and they're going to butt heads at sometimes. Can I just say that that's okay? That it is okay that we can disagree on this whole issue. We can disagree on whatever the approach might be that we're going to take. We can disagree from one another and still be family in this situation. Can I say that? This situation is not forever, though it might feel like it. It's not going to be forever, but it's where we are right now. Parts of what we're going to do, I recognize because of the opinions, parts of what we're going to do might feel ridiculous or might feel unnecessary to some of you. For others of you, those same parts might feel loose and irresponsible. It's just the nature of the opinions that are involved in this thing. Because in our church, we have widely differing opinions on the virus and on the politics and everything that is involved with this. And I just want to say that it's okay to disagree on those things and still be a part of this family. And to still participate in whatever way you feel most comfortable participating as we move forward. In Philippians 4, Paul urges two women, Euodia and Syntyche, to live in harmony in the Lord. He doesn't ask them to agree on everything. He doesn't ask them to give in to one another's perspective. He doesn't ask them to go to counseling to be able to find some sort of compromise. He doesn't do any of those things. But what he does ask them is he asks them to live in harmony with one another because of the shared life that they have found in Christ and the shared life that they are experiencing in the body, in the family of the church. And so I'm asking the same thing of you all. As we move into this time that looks a little bit different, that is a little bit of a different experience, that we have such strong opinions on, can we move into it living in harmony with one another, even if we don't agree on everything? And then when we disagree, can we apply grace in those areas? So that's what I'm asking as we move forward, as we get ready to detail how the services are going to look and the steps that we're going to take as a church. Can we agree to live in harmony with one another in Christ, in the Lord? That's what I'm asking as a pastor of the church. So, with that being said, here's our plan. And as always, it's subject to change based on the information that we're getting and based on the recommendations we're getting from the authorities in charge here or the guidelines that are in place. It's always subject to change. But here's our plan as of right now. Starting on May 24th, we're going to be holding 2 services at Capital Vineyard Community Church, one at 9 o'clock and one at 11 o'clock. I realize that's a big space in between there, but we're offering that big space. Those services are not going to last 2 hours apiece. The reason we're leaving such a big space after service is so that we can do the appropriate cleaning and making sure that things are wiped down and things are disinfected and all of that. So we're doing our best to make sure we have appropriate time to get people out, get the next group of people in, while also taking precautionary steps for disinfecting. The services will also be limited to 40 people per service. We're going to do our best to stay at 40 people per service. That falls in line with the guidelines about limited capacity. What we've seen is about half capacity. While 40 people might be under our capacity, we know that that's going to give us some wiggle room when it comes to who shows up at what particular time. Because of the limited capacity and the seating that's going to be available and the nature of 2 services, we've created a Google form for you to fill out called CVC Reopening Plan. You'll find that link in the email and the notes of this video and also on our Facebook page. But it's a Google form for you to fill out so that we can be prepared for who's going to attend what service and maybe we move people around or whatever. We're just trying to make this thing work as we move forward. So honestly, it'll take a couple of seconds. There's room there for comments if you've got any comments that you want to share about this, and that way we can just be best prepared for what's going to happen on those mornings. At this point during our services, we're not going to offer any coffee and donuts. Communion is gonna look completely different as well. So we're just trying to be careful of the number of contacts or the level of contacts that we have with one another at this point. We're not going to be offering any kids services during the foreseeable future, whatever length of time that it needs to be. We're not going to be offering kids services. So everybody that attends the service will be in the auditorium for the duration of worship and the message. And we're asking that you wear a face mask. I know that these things are uncomfortable. I know that it's awkward when you're trying to have a conversation and you can't see somebody's mouth forming the words and all you can see is the eyes and you're not sure if they're laughing or if they're crying, all of those things. I know it's awkward. I know it's uncomfortable, but for everything that we're doing right now, we want to do what we feel is responsible, what we feel is respectful to everyone involved, including the guidelines and the authorities that are being given to us. And overall, I, as the pastor, want to do what I feel is right in this situation. So like I said earlier, I know that many of you will not agree with every single detail of the things that we just laid out. But if you were in my position as the pastor of this church, I believe that you would move forward with the things that you think are appropriate. And that's all I'm trying to do. It's to move forward, take the steps that I feel are appropriate, that are going to respect the varying opinions, respect the authorities, and be responsible for the things that we're responsible for. And that is, as a family, we're responsible for one another. So I know this is not just joining back together and going back to the way things were. I don't know how fast things are going to go back to the way they were or if they will ever go back to the way they were. But we get to be in this moment. We get to move forward, come back together, worship together, enjoy the community of one another, even if it looks differently than what it did before. But I'm excited about worshiping with you. I'm excited about seeing you and having face-to-face conversations with you, even if it looks differently than what we'd like it to, or even if it looks differently than what we've expected it to. I love you all. please take a couple of seconds to fill out that Google form and let us know your plans for the service, for attending services. Finally, we are going to try to have some type of online service available for those people who don't yet feel comfortable at all attending an in-person service. I don't know what that's going to look like, if it's going to be a Facebook Live or a YouTube Live of the actual service that's happening, or if it's going to be a pre-recorded thing that's uploaded after Sunday afternoon or Monday morning, or if it's going to be just a recording of the service that's offered then. But we're going to try and make accommodations to whatever level people are comfortable with, because we want people to experience the love of Jesus, the new life that they can have in Christ. And right now, it just looks differently while we're getting that message out. So I love you. God bless you. And please fill out that form. Please feel free to contact me here at the church and share your opinion or have comments or whatever. But as we move forward right now, this is what service is going to look like. I love you. God bless you. And have a great day.